What is private and public? Well, in object-oriented programming, we have private methods and properties that are available within a class. And then we have public methods and properties which are available outside the class. And the idea is, it's this thing called encapsulation, like a capsule. And we want to keep everything private that we can. And that way, things can't break it. It's like a black box. So everything inside the class, as much as we can, we keep private. And we only expose what the outside needs to use, usually through parameters, sometimes through methods. All right, let's take a look and see what that looks like inside here. So here we have a ball class, and I can see already this dot bounce. That is a public method. It's a function stored on this. Just remember, it's on this, and this is here as well for highlight. This is a public property. And down here on this is a public method. And what that means is down below here, once we make a ball, this is the new ball. And because we had this dot center stored on that new ball, we can access it here like this. Ball dot center on the stage. And here's that public property. So a public method being used and a public property being used. Now save that up and take a look. There it is, the ball. Okay, so those are public properties, and we need those. We have to, we want to center the ball, so there'd be no point in keeping that one private, so that we couldn't do that. So this was made specifically to use, as are any of the properties like x and y and alpha that we, that we use. Those are public, so that we can use them. Now, what about private then? Here is a var light. That's what we use to make the highlight. That is a local var, and we can call that a private property, var light. Let's see if we can access it from the outside here. Zog ball dot light, like so. Almost like so. Like so. So we save that up and refresh here. And check out the F12. Undefined on line 86. Undefined. It doesn't know what light is. That's a private property inside here, and it has no access to it. Nor would it be able to find, just in case you need to see this, nor would it be able to find light. Light is a var declared inside this class, so we cannot access light from outside either. Refresh. Error, light is not defined anywhere. Okay, so that's a private property. Let's make a private method or function here. And so that would look like function. How about we make it fade? We'll make our circle fade. Like that. There, that is a private method. This function is declared inside the class, and it cannot be accessed from the outside. So let's make it fade. How about we go blah, blah, blah. This dot alpha equals 0.4, like so. Now we're going to run into a problem here, because this inside a function like so refers to the function. If the function right here, like this function, is assigned to bounce.this, the this of this function will be in the scope of this. However, this is not assigned to this dot bounce or this dot anything. It's just sitting there. So the scope of this function is, or this is referring to fade. So we can solve that. As a matter of fact, I think they're solving that in ECMAScript 6 as well. It's not exactly broken, but it's just how it is. It could be easier. So they're fixing that up. But for now, our solution is just to say var that equals this. It's kind of cute. So we store a local variable called that, and we're pointing that to the scope of the ball. So this. And then inside here, instead of saying this dot alpha, we say that dot alpha. And that will bring us back to that dot alpha will be pointing to the ball that is made to this. Okay, and this gets assigned here. Plump, 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 plump. When we make a new ball, this is the new ball. Okay, and so is that. Because that is this, and therefore that is also this. Fun, huh? Okay, let's see if it works. So we can call it fade. We can call it here. Sign. So there we are calling the function fade, and now when we refresh the ball here, our ball is faded. Fade it to 0.1 just to make sure you see it's faded. Faded, faded. Very faded. Bring it back up to 0.4. Now, can we call fade from the outside? So I'm cutting that from here. I'm not calling it from the inside. Let's see if we can call fade here. Ball dot fade. So we save that up and refresh. Ball dot fade is not a function. So we cannot access fade from the outside. Let's just try fade. Same deal. Fade is not defined. So we can't access it from the outside because it's private. It's inside the ball class only. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't actually call fade from outside in a roundabout way. For instance, watch this. If we go to the public property highlight, it's using getter and setter methods. So down here, I could call fade. So whenever we set the value of a highlight, it calls an internal function. We're allowed to do that. So I save that, and let's see. There she be, faded. And indeed, so I am allowed to access local methods. I'm also allowed to access local properties, like highlight from within here. So here's highlight, a local property, and we're setting its value. And in this case, when we do the get, we're getting its value. So from the outside, we can, in a roundabout way, access things on the inside as long as the coding lets you. And that's the idea. You know, we're the designers of this class. We can, if we want, expose certain things inside of here, but we don't have to. But if we do, then that's fine. So say we don't want anything from the outside to be able to adjust the fact that this is going to fade. What we could do is call fade there. We could put this in an interval, and we could instead sort of times equals by 0.9 or something like that. And in the interval, it would keep fading, and our ball would fade and fade and fade. And at the moment, nothing from the outside could change that. That means the ball will work how we expect the ball to work. If we want it to fade to oblivion, then so be it. If we didn't want that, maybe we could expose a public method called shine, for instance, and that would look like this. This dot shine is equal to a function like so, and in here we could say this dot alpha equals 1, so that brings it back up to 1 and it adjusts our alpha. Or we could make it turn off the interval or whatever we wanted to. So this is public, but we can control things inside if we want. Now this dot shine is assigning this function to this in a roundabout way. You see that? And so we're still able to use this. This is still the same this. In this case, though, this is not the same as that this. Okay, and once again, I know that's confusing, but that's how she be. All right, and so shine, we would be able to access this from the outside, but we could not access fade from the outside. All right, shall we shine it? One last thing, get a shiny ball. Yeah, oh, let's see, did we actually shine it anywhere? Let's see, I don't think we did. So this dot shine alpha up to 1. Did I call the fade? Oh, 0.9 times 0.9, so that's hardly fading. So let's bring that back to quite faded. So 2, oh, not 2, 0.2, quite faded. Okay, so at the moment, nothing's shining it. That's quite faded. Why don't we set something to shine it then? Where could we shine it? Well, I guess we'll shine it sort of back and forth, back and forth. We'll shine it out here after we make it. So ball dot shine. It's available from the outside. I was going to see if we could put it in after we animated the whole thing, but it's not worth it. So there we are shining it. Are you ready? We refresh here and it's shiny. Like I said, I was going to put it after we finish animating everything. I'll make it shine then. We could. You want to see that? Okay, so instead of shining right there, we have to go down and kind of hunt in the code here to find out where all those letters finished animating. Animating, letters move, letters remove, child let, colored loop, topic animate, override, false elastics, time 200, do we wait? Yeah, here's a wait. Okay, we'll put it in here, comma, call, colon, function. It's more complicated than I expected. So we are going to, once we finish animating here, we're going to call the function that will then shine our ball. Woohoo! Refresh. Oh, my poor tarnished ball. So I press on here, there goes the animation. Yay! The ball got shined at the end. Woohoo! So that is private and public. Methods and properties. Private, you can't access from the outside, unless, of course, you use a public method or property to access one of those private ones. And then public, we can access from the outside. You should always keep everything private unless something else needs it. All right. I'm inventor Dan Zen. We're here at zimjs.com with a what is private and public. Ciao.